I don't know. Anything? How's everything?
Great. I was looking at flights again for Vegas last night and hotels and stuff. So I was going to ask you if you'd heard any more about where a lot of people are staying or kind of what the trend is on if people
No.
are people coming early or staying late or any of that.
Well, every time I post in like whenever there's a chat going on, like on one of the Dion or Lumberjacks, I always put, "Oh, when are you guys going?" And they seem to skip right past my question.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the majority is, I think some people, I mean, I think people are going to get there maybe a little early.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mix though. There's people that are going to like, they're there to stay at a nice hotel and relax and enjoy. And there's others that are like, oh, I'm not, I'm not going to even be in my room and just going to,
Right.
yeah, that's kind of the camp I'm in, I think. And it sounds like there's going to be a midnight meeting every night at Denny's with Dion and Mike.
Okay, I kind of heard them allude to that, but I wasn't really sure what was going on there.
Yeah, I guess that's their thing, have little meetup at Denny's
They have
to eat.
midnight meetings.
Yeah. So that's the meetup place. That should be
Well,
fun. Yeah.
Where is Denny's at in Vegas?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know either. Um,
Yeah.
hmm. Well, that's good
Yeah.
to know. Well, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like for the weekend part, I'm like I'm not going to be in my room any, but then the way the flights are working out, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting there on Thursday and staying until Tuesday. So I'm like, well, for those extra nights, I will be at my hotel.
Oh, yeah. Uh, yeah. I gotta check with my friend. I don't know exactly how far he is from there, but I'll probably arrive a little early. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the cats, but I don't know. See, Hyder has a cat. You saw
Yes,
that
he
in the
does. And he loves his cat very
Yes.
much.
Yeah, he put that in the comments about him taking naps that it depends on how long the cat lets him nap.
Yeah, he said he was a proud cat daddy.
I got two cats if he wants them.
Uh, he might take him. I don't know where he acquired this kitten, and I don't know what he does with it while he's on his fishing excursions or wherever it is that
Oh
he's
yeah.
Alaska or something.
Yeah. So you heard Dion might have a cat?
I did
Some
not.
Yeah, I think his live yesterday he was talking about it, how he inherited a cat baby from tenants that moved out.
Oh,
So
well, dang. Yeah. There were some houses when I was looking for the rental that had stray cats at them. There were vacant houses, and there was very hard to not um, bring the kittens home. But I don't know. They would have to be outdoor cats. I'm not really a indoor cat type of person.
well, it might change if you get one.
Maybe my son seems to think that he wants one, but I've not been supporting that.
You know, they're fairly, I mean, they're pretty hands off for the most part. I mean, it just
Yeah, but
depends how picky they
they're
are.
so moody, and the litter box things just I don't know. I don't like to deal with it.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Yes.
if they want to be an outdoor cat, I'm good with that.
Yeah. So,
We have mice here. They
oh
can
yeah,
fend for themselves.
they're actually good with for the centipedes out here. They get the centipedes quite a bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Eek.
Yeah. I don't know. What did I see? What do you want to talk about anything or what did you see on social media recently? Any more calls with anybody recent? Any cool calls you had? Networking?
Um, no, I have one scheduled. Well, I have one that's going to be scheduled for next week with someone I met in New Orleans who is a New Orleans investor, runs Airbnbs there, and he was
Hmm.
talking about how he did a portfolio renovation loan on the properties that he acquired. So we're going to talk about that.
Oh, I don't know. I just was listening to a podcast this morning and I heard about it kind of months ago. And I mean, maybe I shouldn't get too deep into it because I don't know the full details, but I forget what the bill or whatever it's called. But I don't know if you heard about it, but like, so anybody that's opened up an LLC, you're gonna have to give like all this information to the government now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're trying to,
There's
I
like extra
guess,
reporting to do now.
yeah. So now it's like even I bet Dion's even more against starting LLCs now, but it's just yeah. So they're talking about like people that are using it for the whole asset protection, anonymity, like not having your name associated with it. Like now, if you're gonna have to give like I guess you gotta send in your ID, make copy of the ID, give them all this information. Now, like, how does that affect you know your asset protection type of structure? So
Right. Yeah. It makes a lot of that kind of pointless. Well, or it negates a lot of the strategy behind it, I should say.
yeah, so I gotta look into that a little bit deeper since I have a whole bunch of LLCs. I gotta
Yeah.
figure out. But
I don't
yeah,
know. I'm kind of I don't know, walking the line of just risking it and haven't seen the benefits of it outweighing the
yeah,
headache that comes with it, like we've talked about. So
yeah. If I, like I said, I tell everyone if I was starting over, I wouldn't get too concerned about it. I mean, I mean, if you're worth millions and millions, and you had other people setting it up, and I think it's easier once you're established, and then you have
yeah.
kind of everything. But when you're trying to figure it out and do everything else at the same time, then it's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, I feel that way even when it comes to just starting like a regular business, not even the investment side of it. A lot of people think in order to start, when I'm starting the t-shirt business, it's like, oh, do I need an LLC or should I just run it as a sole proprietor? And it's so heavily preached that like an LLC provides protection, if someone tries to sue you, but I'm like, it's just protecting your assets. Like it's not protecting you from like being sued or having anything like that. So I'm like, if you don't have assets, like if you're and you're I mean, this isn't advice, but from my personal experience, I'm like, if the risk of a t-shirt causing any sort of issue that would result in a lawsuit, like it's just so low in that realm that it just did not make sense to go that way. But there's a lot of people who feel like it's necessary or think it's required in order to be a legit business, and that's just really not how it works.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Hmm. There's also, yeah, I don't know. I just shoot, I can't. I should have. I was sorry, man. I'm not too prepared, but I was busy yesterday. But there's an app. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't get a chance to download it or look at it, but it's about it basically allows you to rent anything you have out, or if you need to rent stuff. So yeah. So it was like a person, the marketing for it was like this person, like, I don't live in a house. I live, like in a high cost of living area. So like space, is limited too. So it's like even like just having a big cooler for like an event. They don't have place to store it at their place wherever they're renting maybe. So it's like I guess you can go on this. You can put anything that you have if you want people to rent it from you, and vice
I'll have to
versa.
check this out.
Yeah, I gotta shoot. I saved it, but I can't find it right now. But yeah, it looked pretty. I mean, you can put paddle boards or anything that you have, and maybe even like tools, right? Like power tools or something instead of
I mean, tools
yeah,
are a big one because so often you only need a tool one time.
yeah, yeah. And I guess it's like
I feel that.
insured too. Everything is like insured up to a certain amount. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome. I'll check that out. So on
yeah.
along those lines, I set up a hip camp. Um,
Hey, what?
it's called Hip Camp account, and it's where you can rent out like a site on your property for people to camp or overnight park
Oh,
kind of thing. So trying that out, kind of because we on this property, our driveway is like a pull through. So and it's really really long. So there would be, I mean, you could easily pull a camper trailer like through the driveway. And so I listed that parking area on there. Um, and you can even do like camp, like we could set up a tent outside and put it on there, but I'm not having a tent set up in the yard constantly. But you can, but you can. It's essentially like if you have a couple acres, like you can um, have campsites and parking places for campers who are traveling through to like overnight camp or stay for a few days or however you want to do it. So I listed a space on there to see how it goes.
Oh, nice. Always hustling.
Yeah, trying to come up with ways to make use of what we have that's just sitting around. And I'm gonna make a video too. We're kind of going through like all of our old like childhood things, like the Beanie Babies, the Hot Wheels, the Nintendo games, like stuff like that. And like just look up in price what they are selling for currently, like on eBay and stuff like that. So just to see if we have any nuggets. But I thought that'd be a fun video to go through
Oh
like
yeah.
all of that stuff.
You're gonna age yourself though.
Yeah,
Everyone's
for
gonna know
sure.
like, yeah, what was my like Garbage Pail Kids, and was there Garbage Pail Kids with you?
I
No,
don't know what
you
that,
don't know what that is? Oh
no.
man, you gotta look it up. Garbage Pail Kids, yeah.
Do you still have any?
I do not, but it was like trading cards that almost like memes of names on like they would use people's names but word it like a character. Like I can't. Yeah, you got to look it up. It's fun and it's just funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any other stuff from your childhood?
Mm, that would be the only one that I really think my time. I mean, of course, Transformers and what else is big in my time? Transformers, He Man, GI Joes.
Yeah, GI Joes.
Yeah, yeah. You ever heard of Muscles? I don't know if they were just like from Japan or in Hawaii, but they're like little figurines, like plastic muscle character, like wrestling, little almost like little wrestling character, like fighting characters.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Uh, yeah, those are big, but yeah, that's all I can think of.
You didn't do Hot Wheels or
I did Hot Wheel, Lego, but I mean, geez, Legos come a long way since then.
yeah.
We just had little bricks back then.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I was more in the Beanie Baby era, but I only have a few left. I'm not big on keeping things.
mm,
Uh so I get rid of stuff pretty often, but Nathan has a decent collection of childhood stuff.
ah, what is? I mean, I don't know. Are you able to share what he has, or
I mean, definitely like video games. He had the 12-inch GI Joes, lots of, I mean, hundreds of Hot Wheels. Um,
really? How he's not? You guys are the same age, right? Or
he's
no?
about 4 years older than me.
He has the no, the GI Joes. He has that's the old ones, right?
Yeah, I mean, he could, I
Oh,
don't know where he got them from. I don't know
mm.
that he bought them new.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I mean, he definitely played with them, and then our son has played with them, but uh,
Yeah, those are
and
worth money, I think.
yeah, I think so.
Mhm. Well, talking about childhood and I guess kids a little bit. Do I don't know if you want to get into it, but I ran into some parents that their kids are the same age, but I
Hmm.
was talking to them and they were kind of like they're not sure if they're. I mean, of course they love their kids, but it's kind of like they look back and they're like, man,
Oh
life was
man,
so much easier before we had kids, and it was kind of just like, man, did we do the right thing? Kind of, they're just, they're looking at how much it costs and just this, they're like, man, I miss surfing all day on Saturday and going to the beach and just so, yeah, I don't know. I think I think a lot of people out there because of how, the economy is and how expensive things are and just, trying to figure things out. You're kind of questioning yourself sometimes.
yeah, I think. I heard the uneducated economist Simon talk about this, which I know he's going to be at the Las Vegas event too. But I heard him say that uh, a lot of parents or people won't have a kid if they don't feel like they can give their kid as good of a life that they have or better. And so I think we're kind of, you know, maybe, 5 or 6 years ago, we felt hopeful that we could do that. And then now, like where the economy is, it feels like you're second guessing, like if you're able to do that. So I think that's kind of like the mental struggle of just you don't want to have a kid if you don't feel like you can at least provide that level or that floor, and then have them better off than you were, because I think that's just as parents, that's part of like the goal. Like you don't want to be like, well, sure, let's have some kids, but they're not going to have as good a life as I have. Like that's really kind of a weird mindset to go into it with. So I can see that now, that with where the economy is currently, people kind of like questioning like, oh, should I have done this, um or is this going to turn out like I thought? But I mean, it's definitely a lifestyle change. Like you don't have the freedom, and if you don't live close to family or have a really good support system, like you can't just freely go and do and travel in a way that you want to necessarily. I feel like there are. I know we talk about this a lot in my family because we do choose to homeschool right now, and I feel like a lot of people are really tethered to a school schedule, and having to have attendance be like more rigid, and so you aren't able to freely go and do that. And same with like sports schedules and extracurricular activities that their kids are in, and so you kind of become, I don't know, more of a slave to your kids' schedule than including them into your life and integrating them in a way that like suits your family best. So I think there are some like lifestyle choices that come along with that can make it easier, but it's hard to kind of buck the norm and do something different too.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of it too is the extracurricular activities. It's I don't remember it being like this when I mean, that was a long time ago. But I mean, like for me, like everything had seasons. Like sports was like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
baseball's in the summer and it's done. Then
Right.
basketball start and it's done. But now it's like everything is like year round, and it's not like, before you used to just play a lot of times just in your communities, but now it's
Mm-hmm.
like there's so many, you know, um, teams that you're playing on the other side of the island a lot of times, or you're part of a club team where you travel.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I see, I get it. I mean, sometimes I'm kind of glad my son doesn't want to do a lot of things, but then at the same time, it's also frustrating when he doesn't want to try a lot of things too. So it's that balance of like, you want him trying new things, but at the same time, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, I don't feel like driving to 5 different places on the weekend to get, to his events or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Or with the traveling ball, like going and spending a week somewhere. My family did a lot of, I mean, we were definitely the sports family growing up, but my dad was a coach, and so it was his, we that was the thing, is like he was doing it anyway, so we were almost integrated into like what he was doing for his career and his life by partaking in all of the sports. And so we were all doing that anyway, kind of thing. Whereas like I think a lot of parents aren't coaches, and so they become following their kids around versus like, I mean, my dad did a lot of baseball, and so we would be at the ball fields and like we would pull weeds and I would run the scoreboard, and I'd have my brothers would work in the concession stand. Like it was a lifestyle for sure, like the whole thing. um but like now my family, like we're into real estate and we like renovating and we like to start businesses and stuff. So my son is a part of all of that with us. And so I think in the same way that we were a part of the sports with my dad, that we're kind of operating in the same manner, but just in a different industry.
Yeah, it's hard out there now. I mean, I think, and that's kind of why, both of us, our message, we're just trying to help others realize, like, you can't really do the traditional path anymore. I don't really see it working in the way the world is today. And, you're going to just keep falling behind and behind and behind, I think.
Yeah. And I don't know that the traditional path was ever well suited for anything other than to serve, corporations or to serve the government in a way that's like successful for businesses. But I mean, I think that you can lean into that and just get on the other side of it, right? Like be the one who starts the business and be the one who's leveraging how that system has worked and do so in a way, that is successful. Be the one who's buying rental properties in college towns and, they're understand that college kids are going to split a house and rent by the room and take advantage of that. I mean, there's ways to kind of still work with the system and end out not falling behind, but you have to be way more creative about like not just settling for this like standard, like I'm going to get a job and work my way up the ladder because that just doesn't work. You have to change jobs to get a pay raise or you have to change jobs to get better benefits. Like you can't just stay at one place and hope that it is going to pan out well.
Yeah, it always comes back to mindset, and we talk a lot about that. And I see it on. You're not on Twitter as much as I am, but I see it. I mean, people have great viewpoints on it. It's just there's people that kind of use that to hold them back, or there's people that use that to motivate them to achieve something. And I think a lot of it is, me and Hugo talked about it too, is kind of just understanding how the game is or what game is being played. And you can
Mm-hmm.
either, play the game and understand the rules, or you can complain about it and try and play a different game. But usually that's not going to work. And I see that a lot is, a lot of people are blaming, the boomer generation and how things have kind of been manipulated by low interest rates and home values, and they have all this equity built up and all this wealth built up. And you look at the politicians, they're all of that generation, so they're not going to do anything to really help the younger generation, and they're trying to keep their wealth. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the game being played. And like you're saying, you can take advantage of it, try to get into real estate or a business and build your wealth and leverage that. But there's a lot of people out there that would just complain about the system and then try to play their own game. And a lot of times they're just falling behind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, also, if since we're on it, on Twitter, seems to I have a tweet that seems to be getting a lot of traction, but it's maybe you have a view on it, but it was how much do you think your environment influences your income?